week on Extreme Yachts, the aquatic mansion makers over at AllSeas build a 92-foot modern marvel, raising the bar in the world of seafaring luxury.
Rugged and tough, the ability to cross oceans and go wherever you want to go.
This is by far the most extreme yacht I've ever run.
Then Marquis tears up the surf with one of their signature 630 sports yachts, complete with walk-in closets in the master suite and an elegant and modern VIP stateroom.
We are the trendsetters.
Very aggressively styled, very sporty.
And finally, we check in with the Restoration Masters Makatawa Bay Boat Works, the absolute authority when it comes to giving classic wooden boats a new life on the water.
They were purchased by celebrities, royalty. There was definitely a mystique about Riva.
And it's all happening right now, right here on Extreme Yachts. Since the dawn of time, man has attempted to conquer the sea. They build boats to fish, explore, and eventually cross oceans, driven by necessity and an adventurous spirit. But their boats were nothing more than a means of travel. Boy, have times changed. Say hello to the Extreme Yacht. These 5-star aquatic mansions are opulent, robust, and currently redefining the world of luxury on the 7 seas.
All right, I'm ready when you are.
AllSeas began in the early 70s, making steel commercial fishing boats. But over the years, as markets changed, this team of rugged craftsmen shifted their focus to luxury yachts, and these beauties are the pinnacle of durability and modern elegance.
Yeah, you might say that.
Most people have never heard of AllSeas yachts. We don't build a lot of yachts, but we build very fine, very long-range, very extreme yachts. People that remember us, they remember us by the boats we've built, and they find us. We don't find them.
Those who like to explore the world, high-powered executives, entrepreneurs, celebrities.
One with a whole lot of money.
Founded in 1974 by Benny Alls, AllSeas' original purpose was to provide fishermen in the treacherous Baltic Sea with a vessel strong enough to withstand the volatile waters. But as they move into the future, now with Benny's son Tim as a partner, AllSeas is using their knowledge of durability and sturdy design to build some of the toughest luxury yachts on the planet. Currently, the AllSeas team is working on a 92-foot boat, which features a spacious 24-foot beam. This robust vessel will have a range of 5,000 miles and cruise at a comfortable 10 knots. With its twin Cummins 600-horsepower engines and 7,000 gallons of diesel capacity, there's nowhere this hardy maritime mansion can't go. The interior will rival any 5-star posh hotel. Its 3 staterooms and adjoining heads will be beyond elegant, offering all the amenities of home, and then some. With accommodations for 10, top-of-the-line electronics throughout, and a gourmet galley fit for a king, this is the very definition of extreme. The first step in the construction of this incredible machine is to draw out the hull, which is comprised of 18 individual frames forming the skeleton of the boat.
This cross-sectional of the boat, which is station number 18, which is one of 18 frames in the boat, each of these is a part that we will email to a company in Los Angeles that will take it, cut what they see here, send it back to us as a prefabricated part. Then we're able, like a chicken carcass, to start laying all these parts in order and assembling the boat into what looks like a framed-up boat.
At this stage of the build, the AllSeas team has the hull nearly completed. And now, the crew finishes up the last of the metalwork.
What you're looking at here is the extreme bow on this boat. We've got the stem piece here. It's a solid 1-inch plate that goes all the way up inside the hull. And we have a fabricated keel right here. This is 110 pounds per foot. And then to make it even stronger, we weld these side caps on it out of 3/8 plate. An extreme keel for an extreme yacht. All right, here we go.
The strength of steel far exceeds fiberglass. If you run into a log, hit a piece of coral or something like that in the water, a steel hull is going to make it through it, but I can't guarantee that with a fiberglass hull.
Every ultra-tough AllSeas steel hull is 3/8 of an inch thick on the bottom and 5/16 on the sides. And with its enormous 5,000-gallon fuel tank, this yacht's long-range capabilities are second to none.
The ability to cross oceans and go wherever you want to go. That's what makes it an extreme yacht. The way we build boats is very unique. We could hire a lot of people to do the job, and typically most boatyards would. But what we're trying to do in order to compete better with the world market is we do it with a very small crew, 10 people or less.
And it allows me to really keep my hands involved on a management, but not only managing, but actually helping with the production of the boat. So our quality, I feel, is much superior to a yard where they throw 50, 100 people on it. There's nothing real elaborate, no machinery, no magic, just good hard work.
And speaking of hard work, the team over at Marquee Yachts has made it their mission to build every subcomponent and critical system in-house for every one of their mid-size premium yachts, setting an unbeatable standard when it comes to high-quality fit and finish.
What makes us really extreme is the fact we take so much pride in what we do. We like to take that product and show it to the rest of the world.
You know, it's hard to say no. We work hard to try to be able to say yes to just about everything.
Saying yes has made Marquee a leader in the industry for the last 20 years.
Marquee, well, it began here back in the mid-90s. I, along with our owners, looked at the marketplace and said there's a void here of American manufacturers that are truly building mid-size premium yacht.
We're a fully integrated shipyard here. We can literally put together everything here and actually make it. That's all done right here in our camp.
We are the trendsetters. We have a world-class engineering facility here that we have some of the top designers and engineers being able to accomplish things that are rarely seen. We very much dictate what happens in the industry.
It's pretty exciting.
Their latest endeavor, a 630 sports yacht, has them taking their world-class craftsmanship and joinery and applying it to a sleeker, larger design with enhanced styling and performance.
We had our sports series already set up. We had our 42 Marquee, our 50 Marquee. We wanted to have another size larger than those two. And so the 63 came about because of the success we've been having from our sports series.
Before the construction of the yacht begins, the team gathers to go over the details.
How I see it is we need to have, first and foremost, as much space. You know, we need to showcase a spacious environment. And as soon as someone opens that door and is walking in, have that wow factor that we've intended for the project.
Well, the lines are definitely aggressive. Gives it more of a mega yacht type of feel. You know, the soft goods, the bedding and everything is very high end, all coming from Italy, from Milan.
Much more angular shapes, a lot more sleek lines, and that's what really creates such a sexy, exciting look for a sport yacht.
The first step in the build process is laying the fiberglass into this enormous mold that will create the hull of the 63-foot sport yacht.
We're in the largest manufacturing plant at Marquee Yachts. This is the FRP, or the lamination department. And as you can see, they're prepping the hull. This is the first step that we do, putting wax on. The wax is a pre-release agent that allows the fiberglass or the laminate that we'll be putting on to release off of the mold.
Next, they begin the multi-layered lamination process.
And there's anywhere from 7 to 10 different layers and all different type materials, from core mat to honeycomb to flat layers of glass that we put on, and that's through the building process. They'll all get put on in separate stages.
When we pull the hull out of the mold, we will have at about 18,000 pounds of resin, fiberglass, coring material. So it's a lot of weight. If we don't have our weights within tolerance, then we can have a boat that doesn't perform as well. Customers aren't happy with that. So it's extremely important that we keep within those tolerances.
The team at AllSeas is working hard to create their next aquatic masterpiece. These steel Goliaths are a massive undertaking, so let's check in on the progress.
Since you were here last, a lot's happened. We basically have sandblasted and painted the entire boat. On a project like this, we're probably going to go through, 300 gallons of paint. That's just basically on the outside. Today, you're going to see them actually scuffing the surface of the paint so that we can layer another coat of paint on top of that. We want at least 15 mils of high-build paint before we even start with the epoxy fairing. And then from there, it just gets thicker and gets better.
The team has also completed most of the construction on the yacht's 3-level superstructure. The 92 will ultimately entertain 8 to 10 guests and house 2 to 4 crew members. And today, AllSeas is going to put the icing on the cake, so to speak.
Well, what we're looking at here is the last major module for the boat. This is the hard top. We're going to flip this booger upside down, and then we'll put the last of the radar arches and modules. We're going to go ahead and raise it straight up.
Once the aluminum roof is in place, the shell and structure of the boat will be complete. Then it's time to make way for the electronic superstructure.
We're standing on top of the hardtop right now, and what we're fixing to do is the beginning of the superstructure that's going to hold all the electronics for the boat. This particular tripod will be the back set of legs for an upper platform that's going to eventually hold 2 72-mile radars and even more. This is a great spot on the boat. It actually allows you to see the structure of what's being built here. You'll notice these really heavy-duty frames. We also use the longitudinal framing as well as transverse framing on the boat, and by longitudinals, I'm referring to these, which are every 12 inches on the boat. That's what makes this boat so fair and so rugged. All of our ABS-rated cabling is going in right now so that we can actually power the lights.
I'm building a pair of 400-watt ballast transformers for the boat. We had installed 250-watt transformers, and they weren't bright enough for the client, so we're upgrading them.
Another defining characteristic of an AllSeas yacht is the propeller pods. These 58-inch bronze props are spun by rugged 4-inch shafts. This is one serious drivetrain.
We really started in the commercial industry, and as a result, we build our boats much like a commercial boat. Most fiberglass boats don't have the pods, and so their propellers are left very vulnerable underneath the bottom of the boat. If you accidentally run this thing into the rocks or up on the gravel or whatever, it's just not going to hurt the boat.
This unit is the hydraulic stabilizer. That piece probably weighs 250 pounds. This is probably $10,000 worth, so you really don't want to drop it.
Now that the hydraulic stabilizer is in place, it's time to finish the installation of the stabilizer fins.
These are really special stabilizer fins. They're called zero-speed stabilizers, which means that when you stop the boat and you're hanging on the anchor, these fins will actually keep moving, and they'll slow the boat down and keep it as much as possible upright. If you've got people that are prone for seasickness, these are really helpful for that. Okay, pick it back up just a little bit. Whoa, hold it right there.
Particular hulls, the shape and shape of the bow and everything allows you to go just about anywhere in the world.
There is virtually nowhere you cannot go in an AllSeas yacht, but a limitless range and all that steel will require a whole lot of horsepower.
We have C18 Caterpillar engines on this, which can put out 600 horsepower continuous per side. We can't go over about 12.5 knots with this boat based on a 92-foot length. It goes slow, but it goes a long ways. We have a 5,000-mile range if you're running the boat around 9.5 knots, something like that. That's how you cross oceans efficiently.
We picked 92 feet for a particular purpose and need. What we found is that once you exceed 100 feet, the amount of crew that you need to have on the boat is quite astronomical. And so a lot of boat owners are a little bit intimidated when they cross the 100-foot mark. This is the kind of boat that you can have a really kind of a small crew. You can have an owner-operator on it. But once you go over 100 feet, that's very difficult to do.
The team at Marquee Yachts is hard at work, building one very extreme mid-size 630 sports yacht. Earlier, they laid the fiberglass into the mold to create the hull. Then they got busy laying out a gridwork structure making up the floor of the bottom level. And now it's ready to move.
As you can see behind me, the stringer system or the gridwork system is in. That's the actual guts of the bottom of the hull. From that point, this boat has already been demolded, and it's getting ready now to be lifted up out of the mold, and it'll transport across, and then it goes into our cutting booth, and then it's prepped for the line. What they're going to do is, based on having fixtures, overlays that we have on every part, they're going to cut out the necessary cutouts for the options that's called for by the customer, whether it be electronic cutouts, whether it be washer dryer cutouts, reefers, refrigerators. So that's all done in what we call our cutting booth.
Say hello to the new school method of yacht building.
New technology with old craftsman skills married together to give us a better, durable, more beautiful finish. It's just a better yacht, a better opportunity to build a better yacht compared to what we just done, say, 5 or even 10 years ago.
And speaking of new school, the propulsion system for the yacht uses a pod setup similar to the AllSeas 92.
This is our IPS drive. This is the unit that controls all of our propulsion.
A pod propulsion system differs from traditional inboard drive shaft setup in many ways.
It has forward-facing dual props that counter-rotate. The drive line is horizontal to the and parallel to the hull bottom, so all your force, your thrust is a horizontal thrust, so it's an efficient drive system.
Pods were introduced into recreational boating 8, 9, maybe 10 years ago at the most, and it's just taken off, it's exploded, and it's been exclusive propulsion systems for many of our yachts.
So you can maneuver the boat at low speeds, you can dock with the joystick, you're able to handle the whole boat without the use of any thrusters. It makes the ease of docking, even for the novice user.
Coming up, the AllSeas 92 is one step closer to leaving the docks.
We have to make sure this boat can cross oceans.
And even though the marquee masterpiece isn't ready for the water, that doesn't mean she can't show off a little.
This is one of the things that's not seen in the industry.
And then, Extreme Yachts goes extremely vintage.
There was definitely a mystique about Riva.
Stick around. Back at AllSeas Yachts, their latest and greatest 92-foot maritime mansion is making some serious progress. With the majority of the exterior structure and metalwork completed, it's time to turn their attention inside.
We're in the pilot house of the boat right now, and what we're going to be working on today is the console. We use a black Formica on the console that all the electronics are going to be mounting to, and so what you're going to be seeing is the laminate going down. We have everything from sonar, radar, electrical controls, not only for the engines, but also for the stabilizers. We have electronic engine controls, and lots more.
Every minute detail is of equal importance on an AllSeas yacht. And unlike many of their competitors, their team here pays special attention to the windows that, like their fishing vessels of old, may have to withstand the impact of a 75-foot wave.
We have to make sure this boat can cross oceans, so we go on with real heavy-duty glass as well as the framing itself. The glass on them is almost an inch thick, so that even in the case of a rogue wave 75 feet tall, it's pushing against that window and it's not going to pop through.
Taking a look into the other areas of the yacht, it's apparent the design is focused on careful refinement rather than brash opulence.
We're in the salon right now, which is kind of the area where you're going to sit and watch television. You're standing in the middle of our galley, which we consider really the feature of this boat. This is all going to be granite top with a 5-burner stove here. The galley's got everything.
Back at Marquee, the build is running at full speed, and they're midway through installing a very unique aspect of the superstructure.
This is one of the things that's not seen in the industry. We have a 14-foot overhang that doesn't have any supports on it.
By using aluminum for this massive component, they can create a rigid and solid foundation able to withstand the weight bearing down on the overhang.
That's the purpose of a lot of our engineering efforts, is to make sure that things aren't seen, that what you're seeing is the actual design that we've placed into the boats, but not the actual engineering of them. That gives us our unobstructed views and our beautiful layout. By being able to have an unsupported overhang, we really have accomplished a lot.
And with the installation of this final piece of the puzzle, the superstructure is complete.
Right now, you see a very roughed out boat, but in completion, you'll see a beautiful entertainment center, lovely salon, and a very beautiful galley. It all comes together at this point, slowly but surely, in our building process.
It's time to check in with the team at Makatawa on the shores of Lake Michigan, who are known throughout the country as the company for restoring classic wooden boats.
Makatawa Bay Boat Works was founded in 1967 in Holland, Michigan, about the same time when Chris Craft and Century stopped producing wooden boats and switched over to fiberglass. It was started to preserve some of these classic wooden boats.
Makatawa Bay Boat Works went so far as to seek out former woodworkers from respected classic American manufacturers to train their staff in the art of wooden boat construction.
Chris Craft, they were the largest builders of wooden boats. Century was the #2 competitor, and they made probably somewhere around 10% of the total production that Chris Craft did.
Makatawa Bay Boat Works is in the process of restoring a vintage 1960 Riva Ariston for Jessica and Tom Borish. Riva is regarded as one of the classiest wooden boats ever to grace the water.
Well, we're at the point where we're just about to remove the bottom panels.
The restoration process is definitely involved, taking the boat through a long list of steps, all depending on the condition of the original wood.
With a philosophy, you want to make it float, make it go, and make it pretty in that order. The first thing we do is assess the structural condition, make sure that the bottom is sound and seaworthy.
When we removed the bottom, we did find that rot. We just decided to replace it and make it perfect.
Once that is done, we go into the engine and mechanical systems. Then we move on to the cosmetic portion of a restoration, where we do the chrome, upholstery, paint and varnish work, floor covering, final assembly.
Before this Riva gets even close to final assembly, we need to get the hull back together.
Everything has to be perfect. There's absolutely no shortcuts when it comes to wood boats.
Doing this the right way the first time is really the most important part.
Riva from the factory, when they were brand new, were referred to as the Ferrari of boats. And that's a title that they held for a long time, or still hold today. They're made in Italy. They were purchased by celebrities, royalty.
What we've done here is cut it, fit it along our keel first. We line everything up, and then we put what's called a scarf joint in the edge. Gives us a way to accept the next piece on it. So basically, I got my line marked out at 3 inches here. So yeah, we'll get started.
The edge of the marine plywood is tapered using both electric and manual planers, and finally sanded down to achieve the desired finish.
All right, that should do it. Perfect. Same exact procedure we did with the last piece. We just put a couple screws in it to locate it, trace it, cut out its rough shape, and then do the exact same scarf piece on the front side for the last piece to fit.
There was definitely a mystique about Riva. Much more expensive boat. The top-of-the-line Chris-Craft was probably half the price. Pretty rare boat.
Let's check back in with the crew at AllSeas as they wrap up major construction on the 92.
All the metalwork is finished, and we're moving into just finishing the final trim on the boat. And I'd say we're probably about 80% done. The last 20%, that's a really difficult stage to get through because it's all detail work. Everything we do from here on out has got to look perfect.
We're trying to put an interior rail on this ladder well here.
And as the handrails are bolted and tested, the exterior staircase gets installed.
Let's carry it from about here, and then Oscar, can you handle that side? All right, here we go. And let's get it stood up real quick. There's a lot of detail work that goes into the boat. Everything from the round corners to the little trim pieces. A lot of hours go into manufacturing all of these, custom fit pieces, and we do our best to make everything just an absolute perfect fit.
Even though this 92-foot beauty is thought of as a steel yacht, they will use over 5,000 square feet of wood on the interior.
You probably noticed on the boat we're using a lot of round-cornered sapilis that have a fluted column in them as well. Juan's going to demonstrate. We're going to put a 2-inch radius on this. This is a fresh cut here, and so it looks a little bit striped, but it's also got this rounded curves going in 2 different directions. This particular piece took almost 1 week for this person to make it.
But to balance the old-world craftsmanship, many of these modern yachts are outfitted with cutting-edge technologies, such as the state-of-the-art glass bridge.
We actually introduced technology that would be something common more on a Boeing airplane than on a boat. Everything from tankage to hydraulics to temperatures, pressures, tank levels. With my tablet, I can do the same thing. At a glance, he's able to actually diagnose and see what's going on with the boat, all from his bed. I write my own software for the boat. The only way you can get the software is to buy one of the boats.
And back at Marquis, the team has moved on to the elaborate interior elements, which mark the finishing stages of the build.
We're in one of our wood shops. And this is a true behind the scenes of what really makes our yachts extreme. This is where we primarily assemble a lot of our cabinetry, paint it, and finish it. We have a whole storage facility full of exotic woods to fulfill any need. We go through quite a bit. We're in our upholstery shop, and here we make everything from our wall coverings to a lot of our furniture. Pretty much anything you see with fabric, it's produced here for our yachts.
Working on a lower helm seat for the 630 boat. It's made out of fiberglass and poly and foam and vinyl.
It's all made by hand.
And once the crew completes the interior pieces and addresses some finishing touches, this remarkable 630 sports yacht will make its way out of the production facility and over to the paint booth.
For the Marquis brand, it's been dedicated to a common constant, and that's luxury.
We're here at our paint booth. This boat has been painted and it's ready to have clear coat put on it. From here, once it dries, it goes to our test tank and then it's off to its destination.
Makatawa Bay Boat Works has been in the business of restoring classic wooden boats since 1967, and with that much experience, it's no wonder their finished product often exceeds the quality of the originals.
I can almost always tell when I go to a boat show it's one that John worked on because it's far better than the boat was when it came out of the factory.
People will walk up and say, "Nice looking boat, you don't really put that in the water, do you?" But of course we do, and our customers do, and that's what they're designed for. They're designed to be used and enjoyed.
I have 2 wooden boats, and I alternate taking them to antique boat shows, just like the antique car shows, and we just have a ball. We use them and have a lot of fun with them.
Currently, Makatawa are restoring this beautiful Riva Ariston, which has already received an entirely new hull and transom. And to explain the mechanics of this fairly involved process, let's take a look at another of their ongoing projects.
What we have here is a 1959 Chris Craft. We're doing a full restoration on this boat, and we're bringing it up a notch, making it a little more luxurious, a little more deluxe. What we've done here is we put a new transom on with African mahogany. That has been glued on and attached with new stainless steel screws. The screws are countersunk, and then we cap each screw with a wooden bung that's cut from leftover scraps from the same planks.
To fill these holes, we take bung, then we line up the grain with the planking, tap it in.
Once the glue has dried completely, we chisel these bungs off flush, and then we take a grinder and fare the entire transom in so that it's completely smooth.
After the grinding's all done and the whole transom looks like this does here, we'll go back and start with 60 grit, solid day and a half of just sanding by hand.
It does matter if you want your boat to look great.
But Makatawa doesn't limit itself to these small runabouts. This all-wood cruiser is a personal project of Jonathan Roos.
What we have behind me is a 1956 Matthews stock cruiser. And specifically, it's a 42-foot, what they called convertible sedan. This was languishing in an open yard at a company in Holland, Michigan that had gone out of business. There's lots of interior space. One of the things that drew me to the boat is the helm station here. Classic wheel, right out of Gilligan's Island. Down below is the galley, or what used to be. This probably would get reconfigured to a little more modern appearance. Here we have the midship stateroom with a bed on either side. This is the door into the forward stateroom, which has 2 berths as well. This is a pretty extreme boat. It was built very heavily. It's a 23,000-pound boat, and that's heavy for this size. It needs a lot of work. You can get a wooden boat for free and pay too much for it. I didn't pay very much for this, but I may have paid too much.
Regardless of the size of their project, there's a whole lot of work that goes into every Makatawa restoration.
Like a fine piece of furniture, but even more challenging than building fine furniture, this is something that has to have a gasoline engine in it, a fuel tank, wiring. It's the design, the mechanical, the engineering, and then also the art of the finish, construction of the boat. That's very rewarding.
But probably the most important aspect of every boat build here is the wood, which many believe offers a ride that is simply unparalleled.
You can actually feel the boat flex. It almost feels like the boat's alive with you.
There's just no comparison.
But before their Riva can head out to the surf, it's time to install the power plant.
As a team, we're gonna lift the motor straight up, put this motor in place in the engine compartment. The problem is you don't get a second chance when you're putting it in a finished boat. You got this gantry on that side?
Though this motor may look like original equipment, it's actually a rebuilt 177 horsepower Chrysler Marine V8.
Okay, let's rotate now. Well, we're mildly secure, electrical, oil, fuel, and we'll be getting on the water.
Coming up, the AllSeas 92 is finally ready for its maiden voyage.
Go wherever you want to go.
It's a dream.
And then we'll see how a 52-year-old restored Riva performs out on the water.
That's a unique experience.
You won't want to miss this. The team at Makatawa Bay Boat Works has been hard at work on a 1960 Riva Ariston. It's been a challenging process, but it was well worth the wait. And now it's time to take it on its first test spin with the client.
Why don't we find Tom and get out on the water and have a little fun, take a cruise.
The styling, just the fit and finish, it's a beautiful boat. Just enough chrome, just enough wood. Makatawa, they've been absolutely wonderful. I grew up on a lake in northern Michigan. The neighbor had the Riva, and it was just a beautiful boat. Every time I heard it coming down the lake, I'd run to the porch and watch it go by.
Rivas are more than a high-end watercraft. These classic boats are floating works of art, and Makatawa has been lucky enough to restore more than just one.
This is a 1988 Riva Aquarama Special, 29-foot, powered with twin 454 V8 engines. This is one of about 275 boats produced between 1972 and 1996. Another feature of the boat are the wraparound windshield. There's also a recessed area here where a person could sun themselves. I've been told George Clooney owns 2 of these boats. The most expensive Riva of this type that ever sold a couple years back at an auction in Florida for around $1.2 million. This boat has definitely hit the extreme level of being the ultimate in luxury and performance. This is the top of the line Riva. It doesn't get any better than this.
Rivas are the Ferrari of boats. Nothing handles like a Riva, nothing corners like a Riva.
It's a beautiful, beautiful boat.
It's a unique experience.
And for an experience of an entirely different sort, let's head to Fort Lauderdale, where the marquee crew are finally ready to reveal their standard-setting answer to midsize elegance, the 630 sports yacht.
Well, we're at the famous Pier 66 in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. We're going to take a look at our new marquee 630 sport yacht.
Take an awful lot of pride in what we do. Take an awful lot of pride when we see us ship and deliver one of these beautiful marquees.
Here we are in the master suite. This is the end result. As you can see, it's very spacious and very luxurious. Very ultra premium and plush. From the exotic woods, all of this wood was produced back in the factory. Of course, entertainment, a television, a queen-size bed, and some very nice high-end lighting. You'll also find a complete walk-in closet with cabinets and plenty of storage.
And to top off the splendor of this already amazing stateroom, it comes equipped with a spacious and classy master bath. And just down the hall, we find another cozy stateroom, complete with all the amenities to keep guests happy and comfortable. And last but not least in this yacht's distinctive accommodations.
This is a VIP stateroom. Very spacious, very roomy, and very well appointed with all the electronics you would want. What you see here is a sound system and then a DVD player and television. Well, when you saw the galley last, you probably saw a very bare bones galley with none of the bells and whistles in it. Here are the bells and whistles, complete with a refrigerator, 2 freezers, dishwasher, stove, convection microwave oven, beautiful countertop and sink, and plenty of cabinet space to store anything you need. It's really a full-service galley, larger than many homes have.
Apart from its roominess, the galley features only the finest in materials and finishes. And up in the bridge, we not only find a command center of the highest order, but a plush and comfortable lounge area.
No yacht is complete without a wonderful entertainment center, and we make sure to accommodate that with a high-definition TV and incredible sound system. If you're wondering where all those miles of cable went when we manufactured the boat, well, it's all right back here, hidden behind the TV conveniently, the power center of the yacht.
I think the Marquis 630 it's something that owners dream about and desire, and something that very few people are able to have, but those that do have it appreciate that and know that they have the best yacht on the water.
We always push the limits, always trying to come up with a new and better way to do even the smallest detail.
The Marquis 630 is a perfect example of really taking it to the extreme.
The team at AllSeas Yachts has finally finished their 92-foot masterpiece. These ships are the highest in exclusivity with proprietary systems, fully custom detailing, and strength to rival any ocean liner.
I'll tell you right now, this is by far the most extreme yacht I've ever run. You know, many boats of this size and larger boats have nothing on this boat. I mean, it's a dream.
We're standing on the upper level. We're on top of the pilot house right now, the fly bridge we call it. Up here you can see everything. So we have complete control of the boat up here. This is like the party deck. We've got the hot tub up here, we've got beverage cooler, everything you need just to relax and have fun. We're standing on the back deck of this yacht right now, which is just huge. Basically, we have seating with Corian tables. We have an electric barbecues. We have lots of storage for fishing tackle. We have another beverage cooler.
And as we move aft, we've got the toy storage.
We have a 10,000-pound telescoping crane to launch your toys. We carry a 21-foot aluminum runaround boat, and we also have a 21-foot landing craft that goes right where I'm standing right now. If you have a lot of toys, this is the boat for you.
The exterior decks are made for fun in the sun. The styling, sleek and rugged. But just inside, we enter a world of luxury echoing the aesthetics of high-end, elegant hotels.
Right now, you're standing in the master suite, which is a full beam stateroom. It's got a 12-inch memory foam mattress, king-size bed, and even a couch you can almost lay down and sleep on. Built-in entertainment center. And because we're a heavy-duty boat and we can carry the weight, we tend to go with a lot of granite tops. We used a lot of columns. These are basically fabricated and wrapped with veneer. This is a very classic boat, a very manly style. Makes you feel at home, and that's what we want. We want you to come on board and just relax. Right now, we're standing in the master head. They have everything in here. We have a Carrara marble shower, dual sinks, Carrara marble for our countertops, even a basket weave 3D Carrara marble with in-floor heat for the flooring. All the comforts of home in here.
And for those home-cooked meals, just check out this galley.
We have all granite islands, and we have everything you can imagine for the chef on board. We have dual ovens and dual dishwashers, sub-zero refrigerators from the ground up, and pull-out freezer drawers. Everything you could possibly need, we've got it in this area. This tends to be one of the areas where people congregate. They come in here. It's a real fun place to be. So one of the things you have to do because of the heavy motion on the boat is you have to give them a way to secure these drawers. And so this simple latch mechanism allows this drawer to be secure so that no matter what the wave action on the boat, this drawer is not going to open unless you want it to.
From the galley, we move on to the beautiful salon. With a classy queen stateroom and additional guest rooms, ensuring passengers on this craft the best in comfort and 5-star accommodations.
This area is a little bit different than most of your yachts, but up here we've got pretty much all the toys you can imagine. We have standard charting programs, 2 72-mile radars, we have sonar, we have infrared camera. Basically what you have up here is everything you would need to cross an ocean, which is one of the things that makes our boat an extreme yacht.
One thing, most people come aboard this yacht and they say, well, where's the wheel? This is it right here. This, I think, has about a 50-foot cable, so you can pretty much go to any corner of the boat and, see where you're going. There's a learning curve, but it's once you get to know it, it's priceless.
A lot of thought went into the pilot house arrangement. This is the best view in the boat right here. You've got almost a 360-degree view out of all the glass and the windows in the boat. Again, this is just a real nice, comfortable place to be. This yacht is a long-range expedition yacht, and that's what makes it an extreme yacht. The boat is ready to travel, it's ready for the sun, it's ready for fun.
If you're looking for adventure on the high seas, coupled with all the comforts of a 7-figure lifestyle, look no further. AllSeas is more than suited to oblige any of your maritime needs. All 3 of the vessels we've seen are comfortable, refined, opulent, and above all, extreme.